From my understanding, the technical issues had to do something with you refusing to get out of the swimming pool. You want to get some extra practice in, I heard.
Yeah, if only. Uh, but we have Packy out of the gate here first. About a 3 second difference between our players here, according to their respective timers. But Packy already with some really nice setups here, getting that horizontal yellow, dropping the red down, and then having a blue piece on top that dropped onto a blue underneath it. Really nice, strong start here by Packy. It is now a 24-26 virus game, now 23-25. Both players basically neck and neck here as we get into this first game, Sarge.
Yeah, the biggest issue that Packy's been having for most of this board is there's not been a lot of reds available, not much reds in the board to begin with. Don Veneur has a similar issue with blues, but when it's a blue you're lacking, most of the time that's not that big of a deal just due to how the RNG works with blues. So that being said, Packy's now opened up a 9 virus lead right now. Make that, well, right now, there's a whole bunch that's got taken off by Veneer. It's going to be a very close one. It was still almost to the first level already, John.
Yeah, Packy just needs one more red and then three more blues, and he's going to be out pretty quick here. There's 1, 2, and 3. Phenomenal time out of 8, a 122. Don Vineyard not too far behind. Was curious to see what he was going to do with that double red. He elects to put it at the top instead of at the bottom, which is a great call because if he had done that, it would have dropped the yellow down as you just saw. But he gets out at a 135, so about a 13-second difference between our players at the moment. But this is Dr. Mario. Anything and everything can happen.
Yeah, and looking at this next level, similar issue to level 8 for Packy. There is not much of one color at the top, in this case yellow. And as you can see, he's still got 25 viruses on the board, and only 6 of them are yellow. So again, he's really going to have to work with just essentially a 2 color game, while Don's board is pretty balanced in all colors. I'm sure he wouldn't like to have as much blue at the top, but Don's doing what he can to mitigate what problems he could have with that.
Yeah, both players really are fighting the blues at the top of the board. You're seeing both players kind of get split a little bit as we see Packy setting up some bracket clears. Gonna get that blue out of the way and drop some yellow down on top of it. Really nice play by Packy, but again, both players just needing that blue to further advance their board. Packy's gonna get a blue-red here, does exactly what I hoped he does with it. Takes over to the right. That's gonna drop his right side down a little bit, which he's really got to focus on because the majority of the viruses are on that right side. Meanwhile, we look over at Dawn's board. Again, also needing those blues and reds. Dawn's down to just one yellow left, and it's a little bit buried. He's going to have to get those pills if he's going to be able to progress this board, Sarge.
Yeah, meanwhile, Packy has pretty much just blues left right now beyond that one little red in the corner. And as we know, blues can sometimes be a little frustrating to get. And this one, he's down to just 1 virus, while Don Veneur has 6. And there's a double yellow for Packy. He is out at a 319, though it looks like Veneur is going to be out really quickly afterwards if we can get a good pill combination here.
Yeah, just needing this blue yellow is actually absolutely perfect for him. It is going to drop some of his setup down just a little bit, but waiting for that final yellow out at a 336 for Don Vineyard, joining Packy in this penultimate level in this first game. Packy, not sure what happened with those yellows there in his column 5, but doing a great job to kind of work around it. A double red would be amazing for him right now. He can also use this yellow red to tuck under, which is exactly what he's going for. Probably going to see this red blue do exactly that, drop down the yellows. Really nice play by Packy. His board's looking pretty good. Just a lot of yellow and a lot of blue there on that top line. Meanwhile, we look over at Dawn. A lot of red and a lot of blue. Seeing those blues kind of top stacked up rather there in his column 2. He has since cleaned that out. Wondering what the play is going to be. He wants to do that. Really nice drop into a cross sweet tea rather, and then just makes some really nice plays for Don Vineyard. But he is about 15 viruses now behind Packy, trying to get back in this, but needing a lot of red.
Yeah, Packy is pretty much running away with this one. The only thing that might slow him down is the fact that, well, he has 7 viruses left. They're all in 2 columns. And that means, for the most part, he can take those reds out horizontally, but the rest of it's all going to have to be done vertically here, and that's going to cause him a little bit of slowdown unless he gets a couple of red blues here to help out.
Yeah, Packy desperately needing some red, getting one here, and then gonna get this other one, gets the red blue. Just two more blues will do it for him. There's one, there's the other, out at a 520 into his final level for Packy in this first game. Meanwhile, Don just really desperately needing some red and some blue. He's got to get the blue to get down into that corner. Nothing else is going to help him at this point. That yellow is actually a little bit helpful for him. He's going to create a drop combo here and could go horizontally with that reds if he wants to, but he's wisely not clearing out the blue because it's going to drop off. It's going to block off the red, rather. He does get the red, gets the blue, gets the final red out at a 550. But now with a 14 virus deficit behind Packy, which is really not too much of a mountain for him to climb, but it is possible. But with the way Packy's playing, he's going to have to really put the pedal to the metal here if he wants to get caught back up.
Yeah, right now the only thing that can help Don out is right now what few yellows he has are going to be kind of hard to get to for the most part, though he did open one of them up here. Don's got plenty of opportunity to do a lot of really nice combos. You just saw a pair of combos right there, and getting what he needs really to clear down this board fast, but it might be too little too late as Packy just needs under a dozen viruses and seems to be getting every pill that he needs right now to just be knocking stuff off the board here. Again, though, the biggest issue is going to be those column sevens and eights, but he should be able to get some of that off at least. Actually, might be if he gets a double yellow here, that would be beautiful to clear off everything down there. It looks like he's going to manufacture his own instead here if he can get a couple blues to knock that down. Oh, no, there's a double yellow. He's down to two viruses there, John.
Yeah, his final remaining red virus is a little bit buried. Fortunately, he got the yellow blue that he needed to clear that up. Now any blue will open that up. A double blue actually perfect because it's going to leave that column 8 completely open for him and just able to drop the final reds remaining down. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3 out at a 730 for Packy. Not a bad time here. He does move on to take game 1 from Don Vinier, who is only going to be 5 seconds behind. Wow, what a game.
That was a very close game. What a comeback by Don Vinier. He almost pulled it off in that one. You can see a bit of relief there on Packy's face. He realized that was a pretty close match.
Yeah, and we have a question in chat about tactical resets. So what we do in Dr. Mario is you're not able to reset quote, but you can top out and restart on that level if you so choose. But it does take a little bit of time to do that, so it's a risk.
Yeah, it's happened a couple times that we've seen people have a crash in the game. It's always unfortunate when it happens because it usually costs you the level unless you end up having a really good run afterwards. But we got our readies. We got a 3, 2, 1, and pills.
Interestingly enough, though, we have seen matches where like we had an Ibar versus Sarah Sparkle match, for example, where Ibar really didn't like his board and he topped out and ended up winning the race. So, it's not to say that it's impossible to win if you have to restart for whatever reason. But getting back to this game here, really nice horizontal setup already for Don Vinier. That was really nice to see. I saw it, kind of hoped he'd go for it, and he did go for it. It is neck and neck here as we are starting off. Packy with 25, Don Vinier with 25. Don Vinier with the slight timer advantage. He did get started about 3 seconds before Packy this time. And again, worth mentioning, we do go by what is on their timers when they finish, not necessarily who ends first on the stream. So we do want to make sure our players go ahead and finish regardless of what the other person's timer says. If it's a close game, and I mean, if you're like way behind, like I was in my games yesterday, it's okay to go ahead and stop.
Yeah, and looking at this one right now, it's a pretty close right now. It's just a one virus difference. The only real issue is that Dawn will have to go horizontally to get that red on the bottom row. Well, Kaki just needs two reds. There's one, and there's the other. He will be out at a 120. Don managed to clear up the garbage above his red. He just needs three more reds. There's one. And just looking for the other one stock. We do not need any mustard right now. There is the second and there's third. He is out at a 133.
Yeah, it's about a 13-second difference between our players getting out of level 8. Packy out with that 120, actually 2 seconds faster than his last game. So Packy already making some pretty good strides here in level 9, down to 26 viruses. And would love to see some more red and blue for him to really advance this board. But this double blue going to be great for him. He goes ahead and clears out his column 8. An interesting choice there by Packy. Not the wrong choice. I thought I may have gone for the column. I believe it was 6. The blues there, just because when you have 3 and you get a double, it's usually better to put it on a single so you're not wasting pill halves. But Packy doing a great job here. One of the best. He absolutely knows what he's doing, sees his plans, he sticks to them. He's now 11 to 12 virus game. Kind of hard to say who has the commanding lead, especially with the timer difference. But Packy doing a really great job here. Don Vineyard looking for some really nice setups here. Gets that drop combo and sets him up for a horizontal yellow down at the bottom. He's gonna get it, which sets him up for the red horizontal. Just needs the right pills. That double blue, perfect for him. Gets the red. Gonna need 2 more reds. Packy gets his last red out of the 305, but it is now Don out of the 303. Don now with a 2-second lead.
Yeah, it's been a very close one. Looking at these boards, there is not a lot of blue on the top of Packy's board. What there is nice pairs to make it easy to take off. In fact, he's going to run out of blues in his top right away. Meanwhile, Don's got a little bit of work to do to get to yellows for the most part. They're all in the middle part of his board. Not a lot of them in general, though, but making for very well executed combos to clear out these pills, get to the areas need to keep their boards as diverse as possible. But on that, Packy has managed to make a 9 virus lead as he has just absolutely destroyed the right side of his board. You got one left in column 6, but now 0 in column 6, and nothing in 7 and 8 either. So he's really working on just one side of his board right now, John.
Yeah. Packy's board, it was just absolutely beautiful. It's a speedrunner's dream, honestly. The one issue I had with it is his bottom row was completely devoid of viruses, which normally could contribute to a little bit more drop time. But the way Packy's board was set up, just doubles upon doubles, it really hasn't been an issue for him whatsoever. Gets that horizontal red there. Kind of surprised he's not using the double yellows to drop those down. Looks like he wants to swag it out. He does. He gets the horizontal. He gets the vertical out of the 432 into his final level. Don struggling a little bit in this level 10. He did have the 2-second lead now, but now it is Packy with the lead here in his final level. Looking to move on to the semifinals to face Savage Octagon here in just a little bit. Lot of yellow, a lot of blue on this board. Could potentially slow him down as Don just needing one more red to get out. Gets out at 5:01.
Yeah, Packy had to work quite a bit to open up the board in one color, and by doing so, he ended up taking out a lot of another colors. He's got to work to get to the yellows, and as soon as he gets to yellows, he takes one of them off the board. As for Don, Don is a very a mostly even board. I mean, it would be nice to see a little bit more red near the top because once you get out of the top row, there's really nothing there for red for a short bit. It's going to be a mostly yellow-blue board for Don, which is really helping out Packy, who now has a 14 virus advantage. And as we do say, you never count anyone out, but with the setups that Packy has, barring any major disaster, this is going to be really hard to come back from, John.
Yeah, Packy right now. You hate to say it because you don't want to negate anything. You don't want to say, hey, this might happen. But Packy is on that sub 7 pace, which is really, really fast for this level block. Just gonna need a couple more yellows, 3 more yellows. Now he's got all the yellows. Now just needing 2 more reds. Can he do it? Can he get out of the 619? He can. Gets out at his namesake and takes the win and the match from Don Vineyard. G freaking G's. Wow.